Hi everyone, Michael Manville with Retire Worldwide. And this is a good question from Ellen Schultz. She says, I have an 86-year-old mother who will be going with me to whichever country we finally decide on. Which countries, if any, offer a health insurance option to senior expats? And if there are countries that do offer this option, does the expat have to be on a permanent visa to obtain the insurance? This is a really good question. It boils down to health insurance options for expats in a new country, in a different country. Um, and the answer to this question is going to depend a lot on your particular situation. The specific age of the people who are applying. But I think a very, very good starting point to gain the answers to this question for your particular case is to consult with one of the largest international insurance companies in the world. One that I have become familiar with in some of my research, and that is Bupa. B as in boy, U, P as in Paul, A. BUPA. If you Google Bupa, you go to their website, you can contact one of their representatives. You can explain your situation, and they should be able to give you an answer that is curtailed to your particular needs. Um, you know, Most of the time, my particular research with Bupa, they do provide insurance to anyone who based on where they live. So if you're living in Ecuador, Panama, or Mexico, their premiums are based on the healthcare expenses that they compute or expect to have to incur. So what I found was that Bupa, the insurance premiums in a place like Panama are actually very, very cheap and affordable compared to if you were a resident of somewhere more expensive, somewhere in Europe, and I don't even think they cover the United States because of how expensive it would be for them to pay out any claims. So it does matter where you reside. And your question, the second part of the question, does the expat have to be on a permanent visa to obtain the insurance? That's another great question because you could be, you know, somewhat permanently living in a foreign country but still don't have your permanent visa, and it would be up to their policy to see if it would matter whether or not you had a permanent residency visa or not. Um, you know, on the insurance application, they might only ask for an address, and you might have an address in your new country. But if you're not a permanent resident, there might be something in the fine print of their policy that says that you have to be, you know, have some sort of legal permit to live in that country in order to qualify for the insurance. So, my answer is to direct your question to the actual providers, one of the better providers of insurance, which is Bupa. You don't really want to be relying on the local, whatever sort of public insurance they might offer. I'd feel more comfortable dealing with a larger insurance agency that's going to cover you no matter where you are.